Congratulations, class of 2017. We know that you're here today because you're interested in applying to UC, University of California. So we're going to give you the most detailed information and help you apply so that way you present yourself in the best way possible for UC. We're going to go ahead and get started by clicking right here on University of California. This brings us to the University of California website. It is universityofcalifornia.edu. This is where you can apply to UC. The fall 2017 undergraduate application is now open. It opened August 1st and it will close November 30th. So it's so important to make sure that you reserve time each week to work on your UC application. The UC application does require more time. It has more sections to complete. We'll show you this in just a few minutes. So it's a little bit more in depth than the CSU application. And we want to make sure that before you submit your UC application, you give your counselor a chance to review to make sure that there's no errors, that everything is accurate so that you have the best opportunity to receive a UC acceptance. If you scroll down the page, you're going to get a lot of information about admissions and also about each of the 9 campuses. So we're going to click here on undergraduate admissions because each student is an undergraduate. And here we're going to look at the freshman admissions, but you can also click on any one of these tabs and it's going to talk to you about which campus is right for you, research universities. Can you afford UC? Yes, you can. That's why we're going to make sure that every single student fills out the financial aid documents. Now here is also another link for you to apply. But before you apply, we want to make sure that you also look at the dates and deadlines, and we're going to do our best to make sure that you are updated about everything that UC requires you to do in senior year so that you do not miss any deadline. We're going to go ahead and click on Apply Now. You can go ahead and create a UC application account if you have not done so already. But make sure to write down your email address and password, what you've used to create your new account. Remember how important it is to keep track of all of the accounts that you create. Now, if you do decide today that you're going to make a new account because you haven't yet done this, again, it's so important to make sure that you're entering in that professional Gmail address that we had you create, and also that you're writing down your password information. Now, when you do apply, it's so important to make sure that you use your legal name, and that's the name that you're going to find on your Social Security card. If you have any questions about your legal name, make sure you talk to your counselor. Don't guess about the spelling. If you don't know what your middle name is, don't guess on that either. It's always great for students, especially at this age, to make sure that you take a picture of your Social Security card and that you have that on your phone. If there's something on your Social Security card that does not match your birth certificate or your school record, talk to your school counselor today and we can help you with that. Now that you've created your account, this is what it's going to look like. So I've created an account just so that everyone can see what it looks like. And as we can see here, right now I'm on the Start menu, Start Your Application. And inside of this menu, there are 4 steps. And I can see right here inside this section what the 4 steps are. And then if there's any questions, that's addressed right here. Next, we'll go to the campuses and majors and scholarships, about you, academic history, activities and awards, test scores, personal insight questions. We'll go over those in more detail. But again, I recommend that you take a few hours each week and work on each section. That way you're not rushing to do it all at once. We want to make sure that there's no mistakes, so you're definitely presenting yourself the best way that you can. And of course, before you submit your application, make sure that your counselor has time to review it. At the very end, you can print and save it to your Google Drive and share it with your counselor so your counselor can review it that way. And then there's no need to print it out. So I want to take some time to talk to you about the personal insight questions. As a counselor, and I know our AVID teacher, we get so many questions about the personal insight questions. They have changed this year, so we're going to review that with you. And we're also going to give you some great tips about the personal insight questions. Now, I want to make sure that you guys know first and foremost that this is not an essay. Now, I know some students say, I have to write so many essays for UC, and we really have to stop thinking that way because these are personal insight questions. They're not essays. But we're going to watch a video in a few minutes produced by UC to help you more to understand the personal insight questions. So here we're on the UC website, and this is dedicated to the personal insight questions. And so the personal insight questions are about getting to know you better, your life experience, interests, ambitions, and inspirations. So they want you to think of it as your interview with the admissions office. Be open, be reflective, find your individual voice and express it. Now, when I went to the UC conference this year, that's one of the things that they kept repeating. They want to hear the student's authentic voice. They want students to use I statements. And so they really want to make sure that they're getting to know who you are to make sure that you're going to be a great fit for that campus. So let's go ahead and watch the video.
You may have heard UC is changing its personal statement. Now, instead of 2 long questions, you have 4 short questions. And the best part, you get to pick them. These are called personal insight questions. So what do you need to know? Here's some more information.
What are the personal insight questions? And what kind of topics will they be covering?
So the personal insight questions provide the admissions officers with an opportunity to get to know you as a person beyond the GPA and the test scores and also the kinds of courses that you've taken. It's really our attempt to hear who you are, to hear your authentic voice. It just gives us a much better understanding of you as a person, and that's really the goal, is to have you express who you are to us in the written form.
So for our freshman applicants, we're actually giving 8 options, and the student needs to choose 4 questions to answer. We actually are asking students to really think about what leadership means and creativity and the opportunity for them to explain their own background, perhaps in a short set of words, but in a very powerful way that directly answers the question.
So transfer students need to respond particularly to one question regarding your major. In addition to that, there are 3 of 7 other questions that you'll need to choose from. Similar to freshman applicants, we want to learn more about your experiences. Maybe you've had responsibilities working, maybe you've taken advantage of research at your school, leadership skills, whatever it is, again, that you bring to the table. We want to hear more from you about that.
So basically you're saying, freshman applicants, you'll have 8 questions to choose from and must answer 4 of them. Transfer applicants, you'll also have to answer 4, but one of them is required and about your major. And last but not least, the maximum amount of words allowed per question is 350 words.
So which ones do I pick? Does it matter?
I think that's a fair question, and a question that a lot of students may wonder about. All the questions that you have to select from are of equal value to the University of California and its campuses. So you select the questions that you feel you can provide us the greatest insight into. If you feel that there's questions that don't relate to you, don't respond to those questions. Pick the ones that are most relevant to you, your experience, your accomplishments, your background.
Well, I'm not really sure what the UC campuses are looking for. Is there anything specific?
There's no right or wrong answer to these questions. We're looking for your unique abilities and accomplishments and backgrounds, and we want to hear it in your unique voice. What's great about these questions is that they come from factors that we're already looking for in our admissions review. So no matter what you choose, you're already giving us what we're looking for.
It's really important, I think, to understand that in this process, in the same way that if you and I were in an elevator and we only had a few seconds and I asked you, who are you? What do you believe in? That you're able to explain to me and to the people reading the applications what you believe in, what inspires you.
So I'm not really the best writer. Do I need to worry about my writing and my vocabulary?
So it's not a writing test. However, we want you to make sure that you're displaying your best writing. So we want you to get it proofread, review it, make sure that you're looking for spelling and grammatical errors and correcting those, because those things can be distracting to the admissions reader. However, we want you to use your own words, your own vocabulary, be concise and be thorough in your writing, and proofread.
All right, I think I got it. I'm ready to get started. But where do I go for more information?
Okay, so in terms of getting started, first and foremost, you want to give yourself plenty of time. And just remember that the personal insight questions are one of many different factors that we're considering when we're reviewing your application. So if you visit the admissions website, you can find more information that will help you get started, including worksheets and other resources. So definitely take advantage of all that is available online. Take a deep breath, know it will all be okay, and give it your best shot.
So here we're going to go ahead and look at the writing tips. So here are some tips and techniques to help you get started. And of course, as we heard, it's so important to start early. Give yourself plenty of time to prepare for the entire application, including the writing, your personal insight questions. So we want you to apply before November 30th, and I think it would be great if you could get your calendar out and schedule time each week that you dedicate just to work on your UC application. And then over here, I'm going to let you read the common mistakes that you need to avoid. Don't talk about just one UC campus, because there's one application for all the campuses. So unlike CSU Mentor, you're not going to fill out one application per campus. This is just one application, and you're going to choose several campuses to apply to with just the one application. So you really want to avoid talking about why UC San Diego's your dream college, you've always wanted to go there, especially if you're applying to UCLA, UC Irvine, UC Riverside. You don't want them to think that you're not interested in their schools. Of course, inappropriate use of humor, creative writing. Don't use poems or cliches. This is not an essay. This is not a class assignment. Don't use quotations. We want to know your thoughts and words, not someone else's. Generalities, stick to facts and personal examples. Repetition, they want to know the most information about you. They want to know what world you come from, how you're a perfect fit for that campus. And again, they want to hear your authentic voice, so avoid repeating. And then asking philosophical questions, get to the point, be really thorough. Make sure you paint a picture for the person reading your personal insight. They don't know who you are. And so I always ask my students to have someone who doesn't know them read their personal insight questions, because if it's somebody that knows you, if it's your counselor, if it's your mom, if it's someone that knows you and you leave information out, then we tend to go ahead and fill in the blanks with what we know about you. So we can go ahead and paint that picture. But if it's someone who doesn't know you, then they can really give you great feedback when they say, well, I don't know what you meant here. I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. And that's a great way for you to improve your personal insight. And then of course, no acronyms. Make sure you spell everything out. Now we're going to look over here, and you can go back and look at this as well. Writing persuasively, using I statements, proofread and edit. And then of course, feedback. Make sure that you feedback, okay, that you get feedback. Okay, and then of course, make sure you get help from your counselors and your teachers. We're definitely here to help you out. Now here's a worksheet to help you with the personal insight questions for freshman applicants. You can find this in Powerhouse under forms. I'm going to list it there for you, and it's going to help you get started. So it's going to give you a list of the 8 personal insight questions. Okay, so you can see the questions over here. And then it's also going to help you, get started so you can write some key ideas. And then over here, they're going to help you to brainstorm. So this is a really great worksheet that is really going to help you out. And you can find it under Forms in Powerhouse. Also in Powerhouse, you're going to find the 2017-2018 Freshman Application Tips and Tools for California Students applying to UC. And it's 2017-2018 because that's when you're going to be a first-time freshman on a UC campus, hopefully. So this is something that you can download, and it gives you information before you begin, what you need to gather. Okay, and hopefully you have these documents because we gave you the form that's needed for filling out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. So a lot of what you need to complete the UC application is what you need to complete the FAFSA. It's going to be your information, your address, your social security number, your parents' income. Now you're also going to need a copy of your high school transcript. And you can get an unofficial copy of your high school transcript in Infinite Campus. And so you can look at that under reports. You can get a copy of your transcript there. And UC wants to know about all of your grades. So I'm going to go over that in just a few minutes. But here's the guide again for the personal insight questions. They're going to talk about application fees, the checklist of what you need to complete the application. Okay, and then here's the activities and awards worksheet. And this is really great. This is such a big help because they're going to ask you a lot of questions about your coursework other than A through G. So you're going to name the course here, and then you're going to give a brief description. And I always like to use action words, words that are going to show your leadership, the years that you were involved in this activity, and how many hours a week did you spend in this activity. So coursework other than A through G, this is where I like to list classes such as career technical education. Some students took career technical education, medical classes, they took marketing classes, they took other courses such as sports therapy. Any course like that you can list here because even though those are not A through G courses, you still learned a lot, and especially if you're going to go into the medical field or if you're going to go into business and you were in a marketing class and you worked at the student store, all of that shows leadership, and it's really important to make sure that you're documenting everything that you've done. Now here, educational preparation programs, you want to make sure to include that information here, your volunteer and community service, work experience. Work experience could be babysitting for free for your parents. Maybe you have a job, you do some stuff at home, maybe your parents make you tutor or do other responsibilities, do other things that you're responsible for, and maybe you don't get paid, but you're still working, you're still getting some work experience. You still have a boss, someone you have to answer to, someone that's holding you accountable, so make sure and include this information here. And of course, before you hit submit, make sure that your counselor's reviewing everything. And then your awards and honors, extracurricular activities, okay, and then some other information here. But I am going to load this onto Forms in Powerhouse so that way you each have a copy of this and you can review this or you can download this if you like. Now I do want to let you know that at many of the UCs, they have some great events going on. For example, this one here, this is UC San Diego. So they're going to have fall freshman days, and on these days, they're going to have information about admissions, financial aid workshops. They're going to have students there talking about the different majors and what the campus has to offer. They're going to do a tour, and then they're also going to have a UC application workshop. Now, if you're able to register, I highly recommend that you register for Saturday, November 19th. And it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and you can register here. If you can make it out, that would be such a great time for you to go and tour UC San Diego and be able to be part of their UC application workshop. And if you're not able to go, just know that your counselor, we're going to have follow-up workshops. After this kickoff to college, we're going to be available to help you complete your college application, to review your applications. We're going to be here every day making sure that you have everything that you need. And then we're also going to see you hopefully at the 10th annual college fair. It's going to be at Heritage High School in the gym, and we're really hoping that you're going to come out for that. So now that you've watched the college application videos, I hope that you take the next half hour to hour to work on your college applications. I know you have a lot of questions, but we are going to be coming to the classrooms to help you, assist you in any way, and hopefully you can get as much done as possible. We don't want you to submit your application today because we want to double check that everything is looking great, and that way you do get an offer. Now, one thing that I want to talk to you about, I know that a lot of you are going to be applying to UC colleges, independent colleges, out-of-state colleges, but I want to make sure you're applying to CSU as well. Now, many of you have a great GPA. Some of you in this classroom are probably going to be valedictorian. One of you is going to be the valedictorian. And so I want to make sure that you guys are applying hopefully to Cal State Long Beach, because Cal State Long Beach has the President's Scholarship. And so this is such a great scholarship because they've been, students that win this scholarship get their tuition, room and board, access to the internet, part of the University Honors Program. It's such a great scholarship. And so for students that want to complete their undergraduate, their first 4 years, and of course get a great deal and get priority registration, get their classes before everybody else, get to study and sleep in the special dorms. This is such a great opportunity that you do not want to pass up. I highly encourage you to apply to CSULB, especially if you qualify for a fee waiver for Cal State, then it would be a great opportunity for you to apply. I highly recommend you take a tour and you talk to students that have won the Presidential Scholarship, so that you can see what a great opportunity this is. A lot of the Presidential Scholarship winners are required to do research in their area, so it's a great university. I do have a former student that won the Presidential Scholarship, and she is now in medical school in the Caribbean. Begin filling out your college applications, and we will be around to help you soon.